Hello everybody, this is Milesluigi welcoming you back to another Digressing Mario Kart 8 where we take another stab and look at see what's going on in the world of Mario Kart 8. Here we go, we find ourselves at Wario Stadium DS and going on in this track. There's something I actually wanted to start off this conversation about, something we've been talking a lot about balance and how I personally think the characters in the game aren't balanced. However, I really gotta compliment Nintendo in terms of vehicle balance in this game. You essentially have 4 vehicle types in this game. 2 different types of bikes, karts, and ATVs. Your inside drifting bikes and your outside drifting bikes. And I know as a fact in Mario Kart Wii, the outside drifting bikes they're okay, but the inside drifting bikes is like, holy shit, these things are amazing. And one thing they've done to the inside drifting bikes in Mario Kart is that they've added just a little bit of a kick to them, so they were kind of kick outwards, but then they immediately start drifting inwards. And I gotta say, I'm really starting to get used to it, and I really like the feel of inside drifting bikes, as to why you're seeing them so much in videos. So I gotta compliment to Nintendo. I've definitely seen a lot of people play. Oh wow, nice blue shell dodge there. I've seen a lot of people play successfully with a whole lot of setups. The only setup I really haven't seen too much success by someone online with is with ATV, other than maybe the Wild Wiggler ATV. Yeah, look at that thunder. But otherwise, it feels like all the karts are pretty well balanced in this game. You know, you go with a kart to get that absolute top speed, and they feel like they're otherwise in equal parts with the bikes in this game when playing online. So, super kudos to Nintendo for doing that with us. Anyway, we find ourselves at Wario Stadium, so here we go. Here we are with Luigi right behind Ray Quills, pulling off the super horn, but doesn't quite get Ray Quill, but instead gets the shell behind him. Here comes another blue shell, heading for the person in first place, who happens to be Wayoshi. Wayoshi does have a star at the time, but guess what? He does not dodge it. Oh, first pulls a star. First place has a star. You know what that means? First place can dodge anything that comes their way, provided they use that star intelligently. Here we are coming to the next turn on Wario Stadium, going across all the bumps, and Milesluigi is not tricking off of any trick other than the very last one, which admittedly Milesluigi does. And wow, look at that red shell dodge! Look at that red shell dodge! How did that red shell not hit Milesluigi? Alright, but anyway, Milesluigi does not trick off those ramps just because he knows the world speed record doesn't trick off of those, so I think it's faster, but either case, Milesluigi is coming up across the last turn, but it looks like he's probably going to get 4th or 3rd, provided he doesn't get hit by anything, but he did pull triple mushrooms. Okay, Yukozilla got a star, but Milesluigi's going to pull ahead, and Wayoshi is shooting red shells at first! First used their star prematurely and got hit by all those red shells! You see, kids, the moral of today's lessons is, if you pull a star and you make it into first, and the same is true with a bullet bill, a star, or any of the major items that you like are almost never in first in, hold on to those things, okay? For multiple reasons. First things first, star, you can dodge everything if you have a star in first, flat out. If you have a blue shell and you're in first place, anyone else who gets ahead of you, bam! They're done for, but don't shoot a blue shell while you're in first, because it will literally, I haven't seen this in Mario Kart 8, it'll literally just turn around and blast you again. I actually want to see what this looks like in Mario Kart 8, because I've never seen that quite before. But the same is true with Bullet Bill or any of the items like that, because you can dodge everything. You don't need a super horn for this. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on our way to Sherbet Land, our good old friendly pal from Mario Kart 8. And look at that, another red shell dodge, and look at Wario Go-Kart really go. How typical. Anyway, one thing I wanted to comment is another thing about this track. Even though I'm driving a bike, which is like theoretically horrendous on this track because you need good traction to get a good time on this track, a lot of the turns in this track are pretty wide to where if you approach them correctly, it doesn't seem like, ow, wow, Yoshi really needs to be with a green shell right there. It seems like if you're good at approaching turns, this track does not punish you for having a low traction setup. I mean, it definitely is way easier. Wow, I am getting absolutely destroyed here. Milesluigi is getting absolutely destroyed by multiple items, and he is nearing last place here. I believe there's only 9 racers, and he's all the way back in 7th place, only holding on to a lonely boomerang. That's not going to help him very much. Anyway, moving on to lap 2 here, there's a Rosalina that he is going to just easily pass, because that Rosalina, who knows what the hell that Rosalina is doing. And here we are coming across the split path here. Of course, the upper path is the faster path, and we're coming across these big wide turns. I personally use these markers on the walls here as kind of an indicator about where I want to put myself, or basically where the ideal lines are. I'm not entirely certain if the outside sections are actually, like, if they're less Slippery is the best way to put it. This track is just really slippery. And look at that Lakitu go, shooting fireballs all in front of him, trying to hit Higsby, but guess what? He doesn't hit anyone. You would think with a character like Lakitu, it would be extremely annoying. He would have paid attention and realized that there was a Luigi's death staring right behind him, and he didn't fire back at all. And Luigi pulls out thunder and nails everyone, and everyone's items disappear. Someone had a bullet bill, which means that they did not get hit by that thunder. And Milesluigi has passed Higsby and has made it into 3rd place. Here we go, coming up onto the final stretch of the race. But yeah, once again, I like using the side marker things here as markers. And Milesluigi pulls a blooper, which is not terribly useful, especially on this course, because even though it can obstruct view, one of the other things a blooper will do is make every single vehicle have terrible traction that gets hit by the blooper. And you want what? On a course like this, where you're already slipping and sliding all over the place, you don't really lose much of anything. But oh, look at that! I think Milesluigi just hit Wario there, and he's pulling ahead in first, but he doesn't even very far in first. Will he make it? Will he get hit by anything? He makes it! Yeah, 1st place, and then gets hit by something. Oh man, but yeah, you pull a blooper, okay? The blooper item is annoying to you because it's like, oh, well, I don't really get anything to attack anyone, and to everyone else, it's like, oh, our view is obstructed, crap. But it also makes you slip around as if you're on ice, but when you're on a track that's already on ice, well, all you're really doing is obstructing your view, and you can't really see specifically what damage your item is doing, so the blooper is a very unsatisfying item to get. But let's go ahead and continue our GameCube madness, moving on here to Dry Desert. Here we go. Here's an interesting comparison here. Here we were just on Sherbet Land, which is a bad course for a bike because of traction issues, and here's another course that's a bad track for traction issues. You'd think a bike would be able to keep a better grip on sand, but that's not quite. So either way, Milesluigi gets trapped, but then he gets nailed by a green shell by someone holding triple green shells. He gets nailed by another red shell and falls into last place behind Bread? Milesluigi has fallen behind. Oh, now he gets ahead of Bread there. It appears that Wario is also not doing very well right now. But either way, let's see what item that Milesluigi pulls. He pulls triple mushrooms. Saving those mushrooms for the shortcuts on this track because this track is full of shortcuts, but he better be careful here. Racer in front of him had a piranha plant, so if he would have gotten in front of him, he would have gotten hit a 2nd time by that piranha plant. All right, will he use the item or will he not? He does not use the item. Milesluigi does not use the item because he did not get an item box to be able to pick up there, so he saves his mushroom for the mega shortcut at the end of Dry Desert like that, but he takes the shortcut kind of like garbage, and then here comes a blooper once again on a course with not very good traction, so it's like I can't see. Fun fact about this track is that if you take a look at the world records for this track, you'll notice they all use tilt controls, and you're like, what the hell? What the hell happened to everyone? There's actually a reason for that. Hop, 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 hop. There we go. I could have stood to use that star a little bit better. Funny enough, and I guess Nintendo wanted to create an incentive for using tilt controls, because, you know, tilt controls. If you use tilt controls, you immediately just get max traction, which in normal cases isn't really all too useful. But on tracks like the previous track, Sherbet Land or Dry Desert, all of a sudden you have traction, and now you don't slip and slide everywhere. No, here comes a thunder! Milesluigi is going to take the big shortcut at the end with triple mushrooms, get really far ahead, but guess what? He can't do that now because he got thundered right there. This is one track where if you get lightning or thunder and someone else happens to be having a star, or, well, a star mainly, or bullet bill, and then they pull an item to be able to take a shortcut at the end and the other people can't take a shortcut at the end, this track, it's very friendly to upsets just because of that mega shortcut at the end, and Milesluigi did not turn very well. He had to use his mushroom there. Oh, he's getting blasted away by Morton going all the way ahead in front of him. What did I got to comment? There's a plant living in that hole still, right? I know there was in Mario Kart Double Dash. I've never actually fallen in that hole again. I don't know if Lakitu just pulls you up before the plant can eat you, or if the plant eats you and then you come out with Lakitu. I'm not entirely certain. But look at this. Milesluigi is sandbagging the star, choosing not to use it before that item box, saving it for the mega shortcut in the end. Picking up one of the mushrooms he lost, using the star now, taking the mega shortcut, and let's see how he does. He's pulled into 2nd. He's not going to pull into 1st. He's too far ahead, but he's pulled all the way up into 2nd, upsetting all the other racers who did not get the opportunity to take the shortcut. Woo, Nelly, plus 22 to VR. I am almost over 5,000 here. And Bread did not do very good, obviously. I was behind Bread at the beginning of the race. All right, moving along here. We're going to move along to another track. That track is another sand track, though this one not quite as much sand, quite a little bit of sand here. Here we go, getting to the start of this track here. Here we go again in the start here. Everyone's cramped together. Milesluigi does manage to pull an item box and gets the triple banana peels, which means he's already ruined someone who's ran into him. Trying to build up a drift on this big track of doom. Here comes Bowser and Waluigi duking it out. Here Waluigi with an acceleration set, but Waluigi runs right into Bowser's green shells and gets totally destroyed. Alright, so this turn right here that Milesluigi is just taking right now, that turn is a bitch and a half to take. Whether it's with a cart or a bike, being able to turn in a speedy manner onto that track is horrendous. And don't get me started, if you overturn, I should say, if you go over that turn, you run right into a hole, and you lose so much time. Milesluigi takes a shortcut using double mushrooms, allowing him to take the shortcut the most effective way possible. But here comes a blooper to ruin his day on these turns. He has pulled a super horn in second place. Here we go. Oh, here comes a blue shell. Milesluigi's going to pull in first with a blue shell. With a super horn, which means he can block any other incoming blue shells coming his way. The super horn actually has one really cool other use that people aren't immediately aware of as I take this turn here. Yeah, if you overshoot that turn, that's what I was trying to say before, you just run right into a hole, and the anti-gravity path is definitely shorter than the other path. Higsby complains about this turn right here, and I gotta say for this turn, it's just when you land, just immediately start drifting into the turn, and you usually make it. I guess I could see where this takes practice. The shortcut on this track definitely needs to take practice. But Milesluigi has a super horn, which means if anyone wants to overtake Milesluigi right now, they either have to get around him in an oblong way or hit him without Milesluigi being able to protect himself with said super horn. And speaking of the blue shell, here comes the blue shell. Bam! Knocked away. But listen to that carefully. Even though Milesluigi is not looking behind his shoulder, if you hear that, that's a Yoshi right behind Milesluigi. It's mean that Yoshi is not very far away. But I think Yoshi just got knocked away from something right now. So, did not quite hit the last speed booster. That's going to suffer a little bit of time, but not too much. Milesluigi just pulled triple bananas, which means he is pretty much set to go unless he gets fireball spammed, but bombed. Oh, here comes a red shell right now. Red shells ran into banana. Here comes another red shell. Looks like there was triple red shells right behind him. And he didn't use the banana. He's right at the finish line. He still finishes in first, even though there was the potential for this race to just completely go to shit at the end there. Racer passes Milesluigi, but it's too late. The third lap is already over. Milesluigi gets squished, but it doesn't matter because the race has already finished. Pink Gold Peach, you did not win this race. I actually need to take a look. What does that setup of Pink Gold Peach have acceleration-wise? I guess I haven't talked about it yet explicitly, but I'm pretty confident you guys have already known this from, well, depending on how often you watch Milesluigi videos. Your acceleration stat in Mario Kart is really your resistance to bullshit stat. However, with the differing way acceleration works, and especially how difficult it is to get 4 acceleration or 5 acceleration in this game, acceleration just doesn't feel quite as important as a stat anymore, as we find ourselves as Mario Kart Stadium. Though it's definitely imperative to have at least some acceleration. When that happens, I burnt out at the start. You see, when you get the speed boost at the beginning of a race, you can get a better speed boost if you time it even better. But here we go, we've pulled mushrooms, and I can take the super shortcut on Mario Kart Stadium! Milesluigi has taken the shortcut in between the pipes on the major U-turn on this track, which is the best shortcut in this track. It is a bitch and a half to take, too, and definitely takes practice. Whether you are on a cart or a bike, you need to practice that. Milesluigi lays a banana there, which is a theoretically good spot for the banana, but as you will see on future laps, that I put that way too far onto the inside of the turn, which means it didn't really affect the racers too much. A bomb comes after Milesluigi. A red shell comes after Milesluigi. What else is going to come after Milesluigi? He is currently front running this race while he's on a sport bike. But yeah, this is a U-turn here, okay? And if you can cut the U-turn, you cut off a lot of distance you travel inherently. This is driving fundamentals here. So if you can manage to get in between those pipes with the mushroom, that is just a fantastic shortcut in the world record. That's where they use their mushroom. They do not use it on the shortcut coming up here there after this U-turn, even though it is also a good shortcut right here at the end, just because that U-turn there, shortcutting that saves so much more time. Holy cow. And this turn, you know, it's a wide turn if you don't have the mushroom, but it's not the same as that U-turn quite is. Here we are on lap 3. Here comes the blooper, but that's not going to stop Milesluigi too much, provided a blue shell doesn't come into play. Oh, Milesluigi pulls the super horn. All he has to do is keep his position in first place, and he's got this bleed. Oh, but listen to that. The music is starting to fade away. There's a Yoshi right behind him, and the Yoshi actually is catching up to him thanks to some mushrooms. Oh, but the blue shell comes now. What a terrible time for the blue shell to come from Yoshi. Milesluigi still runs into the blast, but he stays ahead. He actually uses the super horn while Yoshi gets caught at the tail end of the super horn, which I'm surprised happened, and he's on the home stretch to finish first place in this race as well. So provided something dumb doesn't happen, this race is in the bag. I've been told by Wayoshi that somewhere on this track there's actually a race leaderboard you can look at that actually lists all the racers in the current race. I have yet to notice it, actually. It's probably something that I have to pay attention for in Mario Kart TV, or I have to go to time trials, not try to get an actual record, and take a look around. Yeah, that's definitely for sure. Anyway, let's go ahead and go on to our final course of this week in Digressing Mario Kart 8. We're going to go to a very fun track. A fun track that is on... the farm! Moo Moo Farms, okay. Admittedly, this track a lot of people consider really boring because it's basically a big circle. But I like the charm of this track. Plus, this track, like, more than any other track in the game, just shows how much better the graphics are in this game as compared to Mario Kart Wii, you know, being in HD and everything. If you take a side-by-side comparison of Moo Moo Meadows on Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8, it is so much more beautiful in this game. And Milesluigi pulls into second, thanks to a draft. He's pulled a Piranha Plant. That's not going to get him to catch up to Wayoshi in his go-kart. That really goes. Though it is going to allow him to pull it a little distance in front of everyone else. He does not have a blue shell threat to worry about while he's in second place, unless Wayoshi breaks, thanks to blue shell psychology. I have yet to break for a blue shell in this game, and I'm already past 5,000 VR. You would think I would have done that. Milesluigi runs into the off-road with the grass. He has a super horn in third, and he uses it to blast a cow out of his way! The cow did not know what hit him. The cow was in Milesluigi's way, and guess what Milesluigi was like? Milesluigi was like, no, cow, you are in my way. I'm going to blast you with this super horn. Milesluigi does not have that same, you know, super horn type psychology, but he's super football chucks that bomb, and that bomb actually almost comes back to nail him. I'm pretty confident Wayoshi is sitting up there in the front with the rush and be like, ha, dodge blue shell, 'cause, yeah, I'm not seeing him anymore. Milesluigi throws a bomb. Is he planning on bombing one of the cows? Oh, looks like one of the bombs landed right next to the cow. It actually hits Pink Gold Beach a second time, but Milesluigi gets passed by someone who's using mushrooms on the shortcut here on the grass path. But he is running into the wall. I guess he couldn't control himself. Milesluigi pulls a star, going into second place, though he is way so far behind Wayoshi's go-kart. That really goes. So it looks like he is going to finish second place in this race. So what a cow-tacular push-off finish for Milesluigi. Second place, and one cow super horned. So, on the next episode of Let's Play Digressing Mario Kart 8, do you guys like more of the sports commentary issue? It's kind of what I was anticipating the series moving towards after I've covered a lot of the major topics. Not that I'm done talking about specific topics, but kind of figured as stuff starts to drain a little bit that's kind of what I'd be leaning more towards. Anyway, we got some Luigi Dust Stares of the week. You've probably already seen the first one. Let's enjoy Luigi looking at people really angrily because they're going to die!